Goody.
Alright, what's going on, everybody? It is Zombies here again, and today we're going to be talking about farming in Mercenaries. What I've basically been doing to grind out my tasks here, and just kind of what I feel is the most effective way for grinding out coins so you can get your Mercenaries all maxed out for PvP. So, in terms of comps for this, there are two main ones that I've been using. First one here, this one's a little bit more budget friendly. It only uses two rares and an epic. So you have Millhouse. Basically, he's really good just because you can use his Arcane Explosion, get some nice damage off. Normally it's 8, but if you have his, I think it's his tier 7 maxed out, it's 12. But you only need it to be at 8 for, I think, general clearing, at least in normal. Varden's good just because you want another character that deals some AoE damage. Basically, just one you don't have to drag the targets to. Saves you a little bit of time there. And then King Crush, he's kind of our sweeper, wraps things up with his Apex Predator, so it hits the lowest enemy. Then it repeats if they die, and they will most likely die. So that's kind of one of the comps I've been using for speeding through some bounties. You can also use sometimes I substitute Thrall for Varden, just because he also has a AOE ability that you don't have to target with, so works pretty well. If you already have Varden maxed out and you want a chance of getting some Thrall coins, then I would probably use him over Varden. But that's one of the comps I recommend for just general farming. It's really good. You can just tap all three abilities and you'll pretty much always clear, at least in normal. And the second comp is a little bit less budget friendly. It has, what's it? Two epics and a legendary. But it is Antonidas, get in Ragnaros. Basically, this comp, the only downside with this one is you do have to target with Geddon's ability, so it's a little bit less good than the other one because you don't have to target with any of the other ones, which is really nice for if you're trying to do some like AFK farming where you're watching something else or doing something else while you're doing some like farming in the background. Geddon, you basically are using Antonidas to proc his fire combo, so Geddon can nuke the board, and then Rag, just die insect, and usually that cleans up if anything survived the previous AoE. Really good, relatively straightforward. You do want the fire passive on Rag here, because all your spells are fire damage, so that's going to help you out much more than the Sulfurous, which you're using a lot of the time in PvP. But those are the two comps I recommend. So now if we go to where to do the farming, what I've been liking a lot ever since the nerf to the Earth Elemental farming strat is I've been doing Fellwood 6, which is Lord Bane Hollow. Let's see, the coins for that are Anduin, King Crush, and Brucon. So pretty decent coins, but most of the time we aren't finishing the bounties unless we have like a bounty quest to do that. But basically, what you want to do, load up the bounty. I recommend doing normal because I find it really doesn't affect the chances of you getting a stranger that much, and it can make the games a little bit longer. The only time I'd recommend doing heroic is basically if you're trying to level mercenaries in the back of your party from 1 to 30. Definitely recommend doing heroic then because you will level them faster. And it's not that much harder, but occasionally it will make things take an extra turn or two, which can slow down your farming. So here, this isn't a terrible spawn, but it's also not the best. If we count the nodes here, we have one, two, three nodes that we have to get through before we get to the mystery. So that's not that bad. Basically, what I recommend is anything above 3 nodes, you want to view party and retire. If it's 3 or less, including these free spaces that you get, I would recommend doing it. But anything more than 3, it just really isn't worth your time. And that's basically the main strat I've been using to get mysterious strangers. It definitely takes a little bit of time, and it's not quite as fast as the old one that is now patched, but this is basically what I've been doing. Like I did this for all the new pirate mercenaries, and got most of their tasks almost all the way maxed out. So it's been pretty good. Another thing that you can do if you want to, we'll just retire this real quick. If you want to get focused like coins for one specific mercenary, one thing you can do, like for example, if we go back here, some of the mercenaries, obviously each bounty rewards different things. Um, like if we go into BlackRock here, we can see the new three that they added. You get Edwin, Sneed, and Cookie coins for beating this. So I do, if you are just in a position kind of like where I am, where you have a lot of the original mercenaries already pretty high up, some of them maxed, and you want to just focus on getting the coins for some of the new ones, I recommend doing this, especially because Cookie is probably the best of the new mercenaries, in my experience, so you definitely want coins to get him maxed out. So I'd recommend farming this, and you can actually farm this pretty easily. All you have to do is, Rend can be a little annoying for some comps, but if you actually take the fire comp that I was showing us earlier, go back to that. But if you actually take this fire comp, you can use this to farm through the bounty, and then you just want to make sure you have Karen and Diablo in the back, and that way you basically just go for the standard PvP combo, Endurance Aura, Fire Stomp, because Rend will get to a point where he wipes your board, or at least one or two of your mercenaries, and that'll trigger summoning more units for him, so you can just get off a quick AoE and just wrap that fight up really fast. Definitely one of the faster ways I've found for farming for some of the new mercenaries. One strategy I've seen some people do that I haven't done myself, but it also seems viable, is if you want to farm for one specific mercenary, but let's say it's a harder one, like maybe it's a level 30 BlackRock bounty that takes some time to do, and even then you're not guaranteed coins for the character because it's like one of three that you have a chance to get. So what you can do is if you go to heroic barons here, you could actually do the lowest level heroic map, and though you won't basically ever get any mysterious strangers doing this, this is a good alternative if you've got your tasks all the way maxed out to task 18 and you can't get any more tasks for a character. You could load up a farm with, instead of having a whole team of 3, you could just do one individual character, and then that way when you beat the bounty, which these are always very short because there's always at least one skip path here, so it's always just 3 fights because you always have at least Spirit Healer or some kind of coin here. So you do your 3 fights and then get a reward for any of these 3, as well as you get some coins for one of the mercenaries in your party, and if you only have one mercenary in your party, you're basically guaranteed those coins. If you want to speed that up a little, you could also, if you need like 2 or 3 specific mercenaries to farm up, you could just do a speed farm with whatever 3 you need to level. That way, whenever you complete the chest, you're guaranteed to get that coins for at least one of them. And I haven't seen that much of a difference in terms of the reward for doing higher level stuff in heroic versus the lower, at least in terms of like the time it takes to get through. So if you do want to do strategy like that, I think it just makes sense doing the lowest level heroic because it's only 3 fights, which really isn't too bad. Those are the main strategies I've been using. If you've been doing something different, I'd love to hear about it. I'm all about trying to learn some new strategies and stuff because I do have a lot of mercenaries pretty high up right now, but if we go over to like Edwin, still gotta level up his abilities all the way, and he's almost maxed out on tasks, so I'm only gonna be able to get that by farming his bounty or one of the heroics. And then Cookie, who I really want to max because I've been using him in a lot of comps. He's chilling. Needs like pretty much the same boat. Needs like 2 more upgrades. So again, if you're looking to farm those mercenary specific, definitely recommend just going for that Blackrock bounty. Yeah, it takes a little bit longer than farming tasks, but you can get like a decent amount of coins. And like I've already maxed out Cookie's tasks, so I don't have any more other convenient ways of getting his coins. So that's what I recommend doing, because sometimes you can get like three rolls of like, I don't know, 15 or 20 coins off that bounty. So that's like 60 coins, which really isn't bad when it only takes like, I don't know, 5, 7 minutes, something like that, to get through the whole Blackrock bounty, if I remember correctly. So it's not too bad. And you do also have a chance of strangers while you're doing that, because obviously it is a higher level bounty, so you have a higher chance of getting Mysterious Stranger. But yeah, so those are my general tips. So far, been working out pretty good. I'm really trying to get all the mercenaries currently released maxed out before the expansion that presumably is coming sometime next month, probably early next month. They usually do some kind of expansion early December, and if the last release was anything to go by, I would imagine we're going to be getting some new mercenaries content with that release, kind of like how we just got 5 new characters added with the release of the mini set. So definitely looking forward to that, and definitely want to get as many mercs maxed out as I can before then, because you never know what they're going to release. Like, even though we do have some data mine characters that we do know about, not all the pirates that we got were listed in that currently like known list of data mine characters. So I imagine there are a fair amount of characters that are either like done or in development that we don't know about yet. I know personally, I'm really hoping we see more dragons. I really like the dragons in the Warcraft universe, and I really hope it'll make like Alexstrasza and Gruul more good and usable in the meta. But that's going to do it for this video. Like I said before, if you got any tips or tricks for a different method that's been working for you, I'd love to hear them. And we'll be having a new team comp coming out tomorrow. So look forward to that. But until next time, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you later. Peace.